you have been working in Rochester for quite a while. I should have gotten the specific number, but there have been a lot of gigs at the Rochester International Jazz Festival. You're coming back again in a couple weeks. You're at the point in your career where I'm sure you can decide where you want to go and what you want to do to some extent anyway. Uh, insofar as we all can in this life. But you keep finding your way back here. What about Rochester makes you want to keep back and keep playing here?
Rochester was probably the first, I would say one of the first, maybe the first or second place that really opened their hearts to us when we came there. So we would, man, that goes back to 2006, maybe 2000, something like that. 2007. My husband is telling me, and he's always right. Um, and that was the first place we played a little club, and I couldn't believe that people were. I mean, this sounds funny, but I couldn't believe that people were actually waiting to come in. I said, for me, they're standing outside the doors until they open. And then people stayed for both shows. We had two shows. And every time we have played at Rochester, I feel like, who am I? Elephant, who am I? Like the people just are so excited and enthusiastic. It's really a joy to play for the Rochester audience. I mean, every time. So it's really been, Rochester's really helped me. That audience has really helped me to build my career as far as a following and knowing that actually validation of knowing that, okay, we are doing something here, that people are actually going to come out and hear. You don't know, right? I've played to many staff in my early days, to many couple of people at the one table, So you appreciate these things, when people are happy to see you. And the Rochester audience has really supported me like no other. So, I'm happy to say we're doing well, thank goodness, in many of our markets. But the Rochester audience was the first really to really make us feel welcome. So.
Well, we appreciate, not that I can accept these type of things on behalf of Rochester, but I am anyway. I'm very grateful to hear you say that. And I also had the opportunity to interview John Baptiste a couple of years ago, and he played here. And he talked about how he started the show with an acoustic bass solo, and the Rochester audience still stuck with him the whole time. So I'm very glad to hear that that's been your experience as well. So that was kind of actually the first of these three kind of big picture questions, I wanted to ask you. The second one here, you've released so many albums since the one in 2006. You're still working as a backup singer with Steely Dan. You've accomplished so much. You've done a lot. I always like to ask artists, what's the next thing on the horizon? What's like the next thing you want to do or you want to accomplish on your career path here?
Well, the next thing, you never know. That's an interesting question because the next thing, I don't know if I can imagine the next thing. So what has also happened over these last couple of years is that I've gotten to collaborate with so many players, Emmett Cohen and so many players that I've known, but we just didn't get a chance to work together, until then. So I've really formed more musical relationships over the past couple of years. So I would say just to continue to form musical collaborations with people that maybe I haven't worked with, people maybe that I've been on shows with and haven't gotten to work with. I got to work with John Clayton a couple of years back on the Jazz Cruise, which was fantastic. He's amazing. And so I don't know, what's going to happen in the future, but that's the most exciting thing to me is new musical collaborations and ways of just expanding myself as a vocalist and just how I see myself and how I think about music and different things. Charles McPherson, I got to, he like became one of my mentors on the jazz cruise. And, these are people that I never really thought about, that about working with. And, we also got to do a tiny desk, which was a gift. Never thought I'd get that, so, but I didn't imagine I would, you see. So it's hard to say what I'm going to do. But, also I have a couple of symphony gigs coming up, which I really enjoy. American Symphony Orchestra in a few weeks. So that's going to, and we were actually supposed to do that in 2020. So now we're actually getting to do it. And I also get to work with pianist Marcus Roberts on that show, which is great. So he and I get along very well. And then I work with John Pizzarelli. So you've been working with him for a number of years. So it's these collaborations, in addition to working with my incredible musicians, in my band, that keep me, moving forward. So, we'll see. I just keep finding other tunes I like and just keep the ball rolling with recording, and try to record something every couple of years and keep that going. And so hopefully what I would like is, I've been to Japan many times in other bands, with all of the iconic people that I've gotten to work with over the years. So my goal, hopefully, is to get there as under my own name. So I would say that would be a big goal. I love going to Japan. So
I love that. You can't ask too much more in life, really, than good people, collaboration, and getting a chance to travel. Those are some pretty good life goals anyway.
Absolutely.
I'd like to end with this because I feel it is important to pass it along to the next generation. If you have any advice for aspiring artists, what would that be?
Well, the young artists that I have worked with, and I've seen many of them when they were in school and then when they've come out of school, is they work as much as possible. They form as many musical relationships as possible, and they work as much as they can work. So getting out there and performing seems to be the key. You can sit in the studio and you can sit at home with your gear and make 6 million tracks of yourself or whatever it is. There's nothing like collaborating with other people, and there's nothing like performing, because that's the way you're going to test and see where you're actually at. When you have feedback, some people are afraid of feedback, and I understand that, but feedback is the only way we grow. So that is the way that I have seen people that I mentor grow, through performance, and they come alive when they get in front of an audience and realize, oh, this is really what I want to do. So relationships, I would be no place without recommendations. Every gig that I've gotten is through somebody recommending me for it. I've gotten nothing on my own. Everything I've done, every gig, has been through working with someone else that said, here, give her a chance. You might like her. Give her a chance. I know you don't know who she is. Give her a chance. So that's the way we grow. And then we form community, and community is the way we form bands. Community is the way that we work. Community is the way we find out if we can actually get along with people. That's how you find out if people are going to hire you or not. If you can know how to act. If you don't, then somebody else will get the gig, So this is community. There's no substitute. There's no substitute for it.